Hey there, I'm gonna do a quick walk around of the Cuda for you. Let me point out, I'll show you like the pros, the cons, what needs work, what looks amazing, those kind of things. Apologize for the noise. I'm in my neighborhood, there's a ton of kids here. So the body panels, the frame, everything's really super solid. I've done no body work since I bought it. There's a couple small, like a small scratch here. There's one little dimple here that happened from a bike that is a paintless dent repair would repair. I was actually gonna get that done, but I haven't had a chance. As you can see, it's a little dusty just from being in the car or being in the garage. But all the panels, I think the previous owner, either they're new or they're clean. They're all metal. We went around the car pretty closely to look for issues or rust under panels and couldn't find anything. Regular basic wear and tear. A couple things. The paint it's like this triple coat, real thick enamel on it. It's not the original black. It's like a metal flake black. Again, the previous owner wanted to black it out, so they pulled all the chrome from around the windows, which I was going to replace. Some of the original chrome looks like it's still on the windows. There are a couple issues here with door alignment that need to be addressed, and the windows and how they're sitting right now are not perfect. So when this window lines up on this door, as you can see, like there's a gap right here. It all has to do with the alignment, and as far as I know, the glass isn't like warped or anything like that. It's just how it's actually aligned. So that's probably one of the most major issues I have with the outside. The other thing on these panels, for whatever reason, the previous owner decided to put carpet on the bottom here, which absolutely makes no sense to me. They don't look bad, but it's clearly not original. These panels look like they are original. I mean, they have the wear and tear, small crack right here, but like they're in pretty decent shape for what to me looks to be original door panels. I mean, I know that the original panels are incredibly hard to get. You get some things like loose handle here. Your typical, it's missing a screw, a little bit of wear and tear. Your typical thing that you would find on a panel. But overall, like not too bad. If you're super anal about this, like you could, I would replace the panel, maybe get a new knob right here, but everything's functional. The window rolls down, rolls back up, goes all the way down, goes all the way up. Like there's nothing functionally broken with it. It's just like these fine, these kind of like fine grain settings. Again, the panels, everything inside, again, they pulled some of this chrome, so there's some pieces missing that to finishing details that need to be done. The interior, solid dashboard, dash pad is clean, no cracks. It needs a new radio grill, because this is the one that came with it, and it looks like it's been warped. So I was gonna get that at Nationals, but I didn't get a chance to go. The light works. There's one small crack. This is not from what I can tell, and I'll get in here. Like the nuances you're seeing in the video, it's not what I think is staining or anything. It's shadows and things like that. So again, it's pretty clean. It's a little dry. Again, the car's 44 years old, so some of the original pieces are showing their wear and tear clearly. Another small little tear like that, but I think this is actually the original headliner. I'm not positive, but it appears to be. The carpet's been replaced, so this is all new carpeting. It's a little bit loose, could be tacked down. Seat belts look original. The actual seats are original. My guess is that these have been reupholstered. I don't know for sure. I had very little information from the previous owners. They were not easy to deal with. The back seat looks original. That back panel right there may or may not be. I'm not exactly sure. It looks like it's a little bit, sun warped and and such, but overall it's not too bad. But again, you know, I'm a enthusiast, so these are things I would be, if someone was showing me a car, these are the things I would want to know. Clearly not the original wheels, but these are really nice wheels. Tires are good, pretty solid. Open up the trunk, give you a look inside. Kids are just playing. So this is the car cover for my Hellcat, actually. So I'm gonna put that up here. Trunk space, I mean, it's dirty only because I haven't had a chance really since I got it back. I haven't spent the time to actually get it, you know, cleaned out and everything. It was in the shop. We put in all new plugs all the way around where they needed it. I bought a kit, had that, new hangers for the exhaust underneath, which was custom. And you know, just generally just has some of the dust. As far as I can tell, like the panels, you know, everything's solid clean. You can see like where they had the marker lights, what they filled them in. Same thing over here, marker lights, and they filled them in. So those were, you know, as far as the trunk goes. I've never seen this light before, wasn't familiar with it, but it doesn't look to be like it was third party add-on, but as there's a little bit of surface issues, but you know, you can see the speaker boxes underneath, you know, been covered, so they like panel. But you know, overall it's completely solid. Needs just some attention to detail on the cleanup. I just literally haven't had the time to do it. So let's walk to the front. You know, the handles, again, these seem to be original. Mirrors seem to be original. The wipers and the wiper blades, those are not. One of the arms is definitely not. That blade is clearly not. On the front, the grill's decent. I get when I'm looking at this grill, it appears to me like the previous owner, when they did the paint, they pulled this and painted it. There's a small crack in the grill right here. As far as I know, like this is the only crack that I could see that's really evident on the grills. There's a couple alignment issues with the lights and the rings that just need to be adjusted to get it, you know, to get it in tighter. Same thing, but they appear to be like the original housings and so on. Original bumper appears to be. You know, overall, from an outside and a body perspective, you know, they're just like details on the paint. Like I mentioned, I'll call out a couple things. So there's a couple bubbles here on the paint. Like I said, the paint job is good, not great. These bubbles I've worked out with my friends who are some experts. When we were looking at this, you know, these could be either air bubbles in the paint or rust. It's not rust because you can push through. We checked on the inside, coming through on the outside. It doesn't appear to be rust. It appears to be the paint. And there's a couple other signs on the paint in terms of like being perfect. If you see, again, it's just dusty, but it's hard to tell in the sunlight here. But there were some, just some marks on the, oh, here's on the other side, on the clear coat, where they either applied it too quickly before everything was settled or drawn. So you can see a couple, there's just, you know, these are kind of these small bubbly marks right here. And again, but when this car is clean, completely clean, and dried and it's sunny outside, it's amazing looking. You know, so no, people don't like really call these things out, but I wanted to make sure, you know, somebody who's actually interested in the car would know, because if I was buying a car like this, I'd want to know. So we talk about the interior. So we have, again, engine's been rebuilt, pulled, completely rebuilt, painted. I did all the hard work for you. You know, new lifters, cam, new carburetor, and we put in new battery, new cabling for the down or the kick down, and for the throttle. We changed it over from a linkage system to something that just works every time. Had the MSD distributor ready to run on there. You know, it's super solid. The only thing I haven't really changed in here, I was going to put in a new voltage regulator, just to, you know, if I put in all this new charging and power in here, that I have everything, you know, lined up and you know, just new and tight, just to make sure, because of this, you know, this is the appropriate alternator for it, but you know, compared to what was on here before, it's kicking up a little bit more juice, so I want to make sure everything's kind of regulated correctly. I think this is actually the original my mind just went blank. You know what these are called. There was a leak in a hose that we had repaired. We thought we had to replace this, but we did not. Turns out this is completely solid, the core's solid, so we didn't have to change that out at all. I don't know, I'm complete mental breakdown on remembering what things are called. So, you know, the hood, everything, the springs, all look good. Now, again, they did a full, you know, body paint on this, so all like whoever had this before pulled out everything and painted it. We had the master cylinder painted. We had the, you know, a few of the other things in here painted when the engine was out. But for the most part, it's pretty original. I bought a new battery hanger. I'm not a fan of this ground cable like it is. I just think it looks like crap, but you know, that could always be replaced, make it a little bit better. You know, the wiring is decent. You know, it's the original, so there's work to do to like clean this up if you wanted to make it spotless and nice and clean, but other than that, you know, it runs pretty well. So I'm gonna take it for a ride here in a second. There's one missing grill right here in the hood that I was going to pick up at Nationals. Didn't get a chance. But you got the original markers on here. This one needs a little bit, needs a fastener on the other side. But other than that, so let me get in. I'm gonna go ahead and get in and start it. And I'll take it for a ride. I'll take you along for the ride. So I don't know how else to do this other than what I'm about to do. So I'm getting in, and I'm gonna set you down here on the seat like this as a passenger. And hopefully that doesn't flip up. Grab the keys. I'm gonna start the car. You know, the classic upside down key. Starts right up. The hair sounds good. When they put the engine back in and they hooked everything up, they didn't hook up the tack. That's something I was gonna go back to them and it's just a cable. I don't know why it wasn't hooked up. As far as I know, gauges work. Everything looks solid. Original radio doesn't work. Vents. There's a third-party oil pressure gauge. It's completely functional. It's the only thing inside that doesn't look original to me. You know, lights work. Turn signals. Turning. I'll show you all the signals. You know, there's nothing, you know, the light's not on. It's just real dim. I don't have the brake on. You know, high and low beams, I'll show you. High beams, low beams, or maybe reversed. Yeah, so it's good. Even the door on the inside, I'll show you, lights up, as I showed you before. All right, let's go for a ride, see what I can do. I gotta be careful, lots of kids. This will be a start to finish video. See if I can get one of my neighbors to come with me. So I can drive and he can shoot. Hey, I'm doing a video for somebody on YouTube. Can you hold the camera and go for a quick ride with me? Okay. the seatbelts work, but they're a little finicky. You know, that's something that again, the only other thing I was going to probably address was getting the seatbelt taken care of. So we're going to go for a quick ride once you roll down that window. Or, you know, keep that window up so you can hear me. So it's an automatic 360. You know, everything's functional. Take this off. This vibrates. Like I said, this needs replaced. It vibrates, so it just bothers me a little bit. I mean, it's a 74, so it's 44 years old. It has a lot of sounds and feels and smells. You know, I love driving this car, especially now with the engine fixed. You get that classic car smell, the exhaust.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's definitely ripe for sure as you're driving me, but I mean, it probably gets about 6 miles to the gallon, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. It's kind of hard to tell. I just kind of keep gas in it. Been running high octane gas in it because with all the new parts and engines to break it in. It probably needs an oil change before anyone buys it, just to change out of like that break-in oil that we put on the new car. So I'm just gonna kind of go up and around. I'm gonna get on it a little bit as we go up here. I got to get out of the neighborhoods. We live in a residential neighborhood in Virginia. So I'll stop talking for a few minutes so you can hear it run. You know, you're hearing like there's the fan in the dashboard for the vents. Like there's no air conditioning. It's just you know, this car didn't actually come with that option. So the fan makes a little bit of a noise when it runs. I mean, I don't run heat. I'm not going to drive this in the wintertime. So I'm not overly concerned about that. That's not something that me personally was concerned about. Be careful with cops around here. So we're just driving past some of the neighborhoods. So this is kind of like your virtual test drive, I guess. You know, brakes, turn signals, all that good stuff works. I'll actually take a go and see if I can do a bit of a U-turn here. School starts soon. Yeah, it's the back seat. Like I said, everything's clear, clean. Another interesting thing is that I'm doing a full U-turn, going around. Smooth right now. And when I do the change, like I probably would do, because everything's so new, and this is kind of the first 1,000 miles or so that we're putting on the new engine, and we might do a couple adjustments here and there just to, you know, to fine tune things. You know, but if you were looking for a car, in my opinion, you know, you're looking for a car to, you know, that has a solid base, like super solid base, like one that you're not having to deal with some of like the major issues. Definitely don't have to deal with engine issues. You know, I put about $12,000 into the engine rebuild, the transmission rebuild, the front end rebuild. You know, I have all the receipts and work that was done on that. Yeah. Steering solid. You know, these Cudas always had a little bit of like play in the steering. You know, if you're driving a modern Mopar like the Hellcat, you know, clearly like the steering's a lot more precise in a 2016 or 18 or 20 Challenger, but you know, this car is just fun to drive. Rides as smooth as a 74 Cuda is gonna ride. My kids joke about it. They get in it and they're like, "Dad, did you drive a car with like all those sounds and smells?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I did." You know, it's even thinking about selling this car. I don't have the time and energy to give it the kind of care and feeding that it really needs. I'm going to put a little bit more time and money into the Hellcat, just because I want to do some things there. So rather than put any more money into this car, it was just something I've been thinking about. If it sells, I threw it up on eBay to see if people were interested in it, if I could get some interest in it, and then I would sell it. If it doesn't sell, that's okay too. But I'm looking to sell it to somebody who is interested in Mopar and loves Mopar, loves e-bodies. This was a car that I had when I was 15 and 16, and I drove it. It was not nearly in the shape that this car is in, but it was still fun to drive. So, all right, with that, I'm gotta wait for some kids to move out of my way, and I'm gonna pull in. So, thanks for watching.